Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Ben. It's Thursday. It's time for some design work. Ben's Brick Designs. How's it going? Anybody who's watching, it's good to see you all. Sorry, I was running a little late. My wireless mouse was acting up and I couldn't get it connected, so I was freaking out and I had to restart some stuff. Plus the computer decided it wanted to reboot while I wasn't here. So a bunch of stuff had to come up and it was just terrible. Anywho, getting a beverage. So I'd like to start out by acknowledging that I did get some loot from my lug, and I'm very happy about that. Not all free either. Some of it I paid for. Namely, this shirt, which I should be wearing tonight. Brand new. Hot off the presses, Brick Rodeo. This is actually, I believe, a Kevin Hinkle design. This is for the convention that's going to be in Houston this coming summer, so 2021, in July probably, in Houston, to make up for the fact that we didn't have one this last year in Houston. It used to be Brick Fiesta, but because of reasons, it is now Brick Rodeo. So... and this is not our first rodeo, and they'll say that several times, I'm sure, over the course of the convention. It also comes with a cowboy hat and a pretty cool sticker, and then a very cool individual brick that's got the Texas flag on it, and then a little cowboy hat. So that's very cool. So that came in. I also got this from a friend. It is a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. It's still in the bag, but the bag's a little torn. But it is Green Lantern Jessica Cruz. I don't know how exclusive this figure is. I don't have any idea. I'm going to have to look it up. It came with this card. Collect them all. So, yeah. It says Comic-Con exclusive, so I don't know how exclusive this is or anything. I'll probably take it out of the bag just because it'd be a cool figure to have kind of up somewhere. What's up, Brad's Life? I was just showing off some stuff. I got another dinosaur set, which I'm just going to put over here with my other stuff, other things to build dinosaurs with. I was showing off the Brick Fiesta shirt that... Not Brick Fiesta, Brick Rodeo. This is for the convention here in Houston, here in Texas. I'm not in Houston, but it will be in Houston. So this is a Kevin Hinkle design, I believe, shirt for attendees, and hopefully I bought a ticket, so we'll see. Maybe I'll go to a convention in August. We'll have to see how everything's going. Comes with a special Texas brick, cowboy hat, sticker. And then the Jessica Cruz figure, San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, I got from a friend who was moving and she was getting rid of some stuff. And then I got this, which is a Admiral Yularen, or I guess, see, here's the thing. When he's in his whites, he's not an admiral at this point. He's a colonel in the Imperial Security Bureau, the ISB. He's an admiral in the Clone Wars, and he's wearing his gray outfit, and he's got gray hair. And the older he gets, and we see him in Rebels again, he's admiral and then colonel. But like after Rebels, he's a colonel again. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to look up the markings on his shirt, but it says Admiral Yularen, Wolf Yularen. So a fellow lug member gave this to me as part of the loot that everybody got at the end of the year, and he's like, now I expect a microfighter out of this. And I'm like, I don't think I can make one for Wolf Yularen. Wolf Yularen was a May the 4th a few years ago. That's very cool. I don't know what ship he's ever been on while he's been a admiral/colonel in his white uniform. The very first time you see him, funny enough, was Star Wars, right? A New Hope. He was one of the ones sitting at that round table with Tarkin and Vader and I forget what the other, Mahdi the other admirals and such. And he was one guy. You don't see him in the original ones for TV and stuff because it's the 4-3. But in the 16-9, you can kind of see him off to the side. He's just sitting there and he's like, yep. And then Han and Luke, dressed as stormtroopers, pass him in the hallway later on the Death Star. So he was in it, and I think they kind of made this character grow into that. I think they sort of tied the loops. So the best I can think is maybe an Imperial 1 Star Destroyer. I thought about a Venator, but the Venator that I have is, I've got a Chancellor Palpatine in it, or a Senator Palpatine, Chancellor Palpatine, Senator Palpatine in a Venator for no reason. If he was Admiral from the Clone Wars Yularen, I'd totally give him a Venator, like yesterday. But so I don't know what I'm going to do with that. So anyway, that's that. Give him a Star Destroyer, exactly. So what I'm working on today is going to be kind of boring, but I need to put together instructions for Cobb Vanth's speeder. And I need to make some choices about this because this is an expensive part. This light barrel. But it looked really cool on the front. And so I'm trading it in for this wheel, which I don't think looks as good as the engine, but it's serviceable. So this sat back here, and then there was a pin bar piece, one of the flick shooter missile launcher pin bar pieces, holding this together. But this is too expensive, so I'm going to get rid of that. And this should be now how this goes together. So now I'm going to do some instructions for it. That's too far in. How far can that go back? Just enough to hold on to it. See, and sometimes these wheels don't know that they're colliding, and you have to kind of eyeball it, because otherwise it'll smash in there and it doesn't know. So that's still pretty good. I mean, it's a little hollowed out. It's a little bigger than the barrel, but it is significantly cheaper. It's 10 cents instead of $1 or whatever the other one was. So these are not cheap either, but they're not terrible, 40 cents, and I think you can probably get them for cheaper. So it looks like overall the model's not terribly expensive. 14 bucks. And some of these you can get if you already had them. I mean, 14 bucks is how much a microfighter is, right? So, and everybody's got 2 of these from Anakin's Pod Racer, so this is also technically not a microfighter. This is just how big this set's gonna be. It's just a speeder, right? It just has a figure sitting right here. I had a cobbled together Cobb Vanth, and I think it works pretty well. So first thing we got to figure out is how to put this thing together and what a good process will be, because it is very stacked horizontally in the front and the back, but then it changes into some snot bricks in the middle. So we got to figure out what to build first. So I think what I might try to do is and this may not take an hour and a half. Yeah, so for 70 pieces, $10. Put this in a battle pack with some sand people, or a little house from the mining village or something like that. Or you could do 2. You could do another Mando speeder and and then Cobb Vanth, which I don't know that they've got a figure for him yet. So, all right. So the first thing that happens is we select all the pieces. And how many steps do I have here right now? 2. That's perfect. So all the pieces go into step 2. And I have a blank step 1. And so now it's just a matter of moving all the pieces and creating all the steps. So this is going to be a real mindless stream tonight, y'all. What's up, Kodiak? Oh, appreciate it, Brad. Yeah. This is going to be going on, so Brick Vibe, I don't know how much of this I can say or not say, but Brick Vibe actually is building a site for, and he has it up already. I don't know if I can say anything about it, honestly. But I mean, what the heck, right? It's called Brick or Building the Build Factory. Okay, so it's called the Build Factory, and I don't. Right now, all he has are lightsabers that were. Now, Brick Vibe has got like this insanely large Bricklink store. Like it's one of the new, or one of the largest ones in the country or in the world or something like that. And so he came to me and asked if I would be interested in selling some stuff on the site. And I said yes. So I sent him some instructions for microfighters. That's where this is going to go. I'm not going to put this one on Rebrickable. This is going to go straight to the Build Factory. Hopefully, it will be a success, because I'd hate to think that it wouldn't. All right, so now we got to do step view. So yeah, if you want to get this one, then I would suggest waiting until I can put a link for it out. And I don't know if he's going to do just instructions or if he's going to offer any like completed sets and instructions, or I don't know how that's going to work. So this is going to be the mind-numbing process of putting this together. So I've got a ton of time off coming up over the holidays, so I think what I'm going to do too is my friend Joel. Is that going to be too much in that one step? I did his house a long time ago, like 9 months ago, and I never... what's up, Thanatus? Do you have the instructions for the Corellian gunship? Which Corellian gunship did... Is it like the D20? Let me see. We shall see. The one that looks like the this one. That looks like the Tanavi, but it's got the singular cockpit up front instead. DP20. That's what it is. I think I do, actually. Yeah, he said he was going to source the parts for it, and when we got to the barrel, he's like, "Do you think we could replace this?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I had to look it up. Is this the only one available? DP20. It may be under similar. I'm not signed on to the site right now, so because I'm on a different browser. Let's do this. Because I should. Yeah, it's right there. I don't think it's premium yet, which means it's not $1. You know, don't want to break anybody's bank or anything like that. But I believe it's so. If you go to my Rebrickable site, and the link should be. Oh my God, with these ads! Wow. There should be a link in the YouTube description for it. Oh no, I have the Republic. This is the Republic frigate. I don't have the DP-20 yet. It's on my list. I really thought I did that one. Really thought I did that one. I mean, it's going to be almost the exact same as this. Actually, it'll be more of the... more like the Corvette. Because the gunship is just a little bit different. Maybe I have it and I just... Oh, you know what? Yeah, let me check something. Corellian... Well, go back. Yeah, I do have it. Okay, so let me, this is gonna suck because I hate using Chrome. While doing other things on here. Also, new, why not put on ad block? This isn't really my computer. This is Beth's Mac, and I only use it for streaming. The rest of the time she uses it, so I don't want to put anything on here that, you know, any ad blocks or anything like that. But I am using, I might put Vivaldi, the Vivaldi browser on this. It's a Chromium-based browser, but it's got all kinds of like ad block stuff in it, and it's super cool. It's very friendly and very fast. Plus, once you sign on, if you have an account on Rebrickable and you sign in, the ads go away. So I'm just so used to browsing. Yeah, so here it is. I just don't have instructions for it. This is when I've got such a backlog of ships that I have to do instructions for. But, come on. Pull it up. Pull up the image. While that pulls up, and you can see what Chrome does to the computer, I wouldn't be surprised if it was... So there's that, yeah. It's pretty basic. I will add that to my list of stuff to do for instructions. So now I'm going to close Chrome and free up some more memory, because that's all this takes up is memory. What'd you think of the Bad Batch trailer? Hey, Kips Films, Melbourne. I liked it. Like, I didn't think... Okay, unpopular opinion. The Bad Batch was not my favorite part of Season 2, or Season 7. Honestly. Like, I thought, oh, look. Archetype characters, right? I didn't care for any of them. I thought they were cool, but kind of in the same way, like, you know, do you remember those little figures that were about that big, called, I think they were just called Beasts, and it was like B period, E period, A period, something like that. And they were animals that had armor, and then they had one of those little heat-sensitive stickers that you put your thumb on and rub it, and it would show you whether it was not rock, paper, scissors. It was wood, fire, or water, which is, rock, paper, scissors. I don't think I want to do this part just yet. Uh-oh. Did I lose my mouse? Lost my mouse again. Alright, technical difficulties. My mouse has been giving me problems. So, anyway, that's what the Bad Batch reminded me of. It reminded me of, like, hey, this is a collection of fun things, but it wasn't, it's like, does it really need a whole show? I guess it was kind of okay. Yeah. Dagnabbit. As for any Jedi, would be join the Empire if they're going to be in the Bad Batch trailer too. As for any Jedi would be... Yeah, it wasn't my favorite arc. As for any Jedi would be join the Empire if they are going to be in the Bad Batch trailer too. I don't know if that was a question or just a statement of some kind. Yeah, what is going on with this? Yeah, I know, you're dying. Why won't you... Alright, hang on. I will be right back. I gotta find a charger for this or something. Sit tight. You won't go anywhere. So I'm going to try to do this with the mouse pad, but designing with a mouse pad is notoriously difficult. But I am going to try to see if maybe I can get this mouse working. Yeah, it gives me this... Ugh. Oh, you know what? Let's try this. It's got a rechargeable battery. Let's just get a different rechargeable battery in there. Hopefully it was the battery. It was just like, I can't handle a charge anymore. Alright. It's not too far away. I think I can work with that. I feel the characters need more development as characters. They were fun, but the show looks like fun. I meant earlier Inquisitors in the show too. Oh, you missed my question. I hope there would be some answers of what happened to popular clone commanders such as Cody or others. Oh yeah, I did. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think I would rather it be kind of like how The Mandalorian is very much... Let's get away from the Jedi and stuff. I mean, I know we're kind of drifting into that now. But at the beginning, it was like, look, Outer Rim stuff... yay, mouse control. we're just going to kind of work with that. We're not going to deal with, you know, the big squabbles of the galaxy with the Jedi. But it would be kind of fun because this is, like you said, this is after Order 66. This is going to be what clones are left, how they're going to transition to stormtroopers. Are the Bad Batch going to be, you know, running after, hunting down Jedi, that kind of thing? It'll be interesting. I am excited to see. I'm just excited for more content. I really liked Clone Wars. I hope that the characters get a little better because the very, very archetypal character traits that these guys had was a little off-putting. But, you know, we'll see. But it should be fun. I think I'm most excited for Rogue Squadron. That is going to be my jam because I am old school. Books and video games with X-Wing versus TIE Fighter and the old X-Wing Rogue Squadron games and the novels and stuff like that. Speaking of Mandalorian, Boba Fett, after many years, has been hired by the Empire and is now killing Imperials. I know, right? Crazy. So, R.I.P. Jeremy Bulloch, by the way, the original actor for Boba Fett. The guy in the suit. Died today at, I think they said 75 or something. So yeah, he is worth a lot to me. Let's see, maybe these guys next. So this is something I'm not really happy with, is because I know this is going to be kind of a I'd like to put it together, and I'm going to learn in the process what needs to... This is a weak point right here, but I'm not really sure how else to do it. I feel bad kind of putting it out there, because that's going to be a weak point, you know. We'll see. It's not that big of a connection point, so we'll just have to see how it handles. I mean, I guess I could replace this whole thing with something a little more robust, but I really liked the way this shaped up in here. I don't know. We'll see. 75, yeah. Posted respect on Instagram story. In the holiday special cartoon, Boba did mean to miss the Stormtrooper speeder, but Chewbacca took his blaster and destroyed their speeder. Wow. That's some knowledge of the holiday special, my friend. Good on you. I just saw a trailer that was, or I just saw a thing that was cut. It was brilliant. It was a video of Boba Fett from the holiday special, but it was cut to look like the intro. It's like The Mandalorian, but it's set to the soundtrack of Cowboy Bebop, and all the background stuff is all the animated stuff from Boba Fett on the holiday special. It was glorious. It was really, like, I was like, oh, this is gonna be stupid, but it actually worked a lot better than it should have. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we don't know how Boba Fett is right now. He did originally, but maybe he's changed since he's been on Tatooine all these years by himself. Hard to say. Unless there was a comic book that said otherwise. And these are for no other reason than I just want these pieces, because I like these pieces. Yeah, this isn't even the fun design part. This is the boring bookkeeping part. Did you watch the Lego Holiday Special? I haven't yet. Yes, I did. I actually liked it. It was, you know, it's made for all ages, but, you know, it's 35 minutes or something like that. It was okay, you know. It did what it was supposed to do, which is to be a special. Odd that things called specials are not terribly special, you know. They just kind of exist. Is there anything in this step? Yes. So, new step. So the process I have, and I don't know if this is a good process or not, is I just go through and I start with nothing in the step. I put everything in the last step. And then I create a bunch of steps above it, and I start dumping pieces as they are existing into subsequent steps as I go. That's the best way I know how to do instructions. It seems to be the fastest for me. And here's another, oh, this is going to be so bad. I really may have to, this may be more of a design thing, and I know he's going to hate me for this, but it just doesn't seem like it's going to hold together that well. Because, I mean, this is the only thing in here, are these two. Oh, it's another one. It's small. It's small, it should hold together, right? Yeah, Lego Holiday Special came out like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, like right around Thanksgiving. And it's still Life Day. They're still celebrating Life Day. Poe Dameron's got an ugly sweater on. So despite the fact that it's not Christmas, he's wearing an ugly Christmas sweater. And they're putting up lights and they're doing all this stuff. And it's very much like a... and Rey's the main focus, and she goes throughout time looking for other Jedi kind of thing. She finds a fun MacGuffin, and, you know, it's okay. It's not too bad. You know, for what it is. It's a LARP. You watch it the same reason you would watch... You watch it the same reason you would play Lego Star Wars games. It's just kind of fun. Nothing really special about it. They did get a couple actors to reprise their roles. I don't know if 3PO was in it, but there's a couple people I thought actually did the voices. But I forget who. I know Poe's wasn't right. In the Skywalker Saga game, Maul has a standard hilt, which is getting old for Maul. I hope someone makes mods in the Skywalker Saga. You mean for him being old man Maul, or just regular Maul? Because his... Would you like it to be longer than the regular standard? Because, yeah, I can understand that. Add a couple of those hollow 1x1s on each side, just to make it look a little longer. Yeah, because his hilt is a lot longer. I can already feel my voice giving out. So much fun. Is there anything behind this? No. Okay. So then these guys go in here. Oop, nobody wants to see that. Okay, at least held those together. That's good. Okay, that makes me feel a little better. Uh-oh. Do I have a collision up here? Monkey lovin'. Oh, man. Why did this not... This is so frustrating. Ugh. Well, now this whole thing is shot. See, collision is on. All right, that's not terribly inconvenient, but oh, man. I don't know if that's gonna fit now. Yeah, that's barely gonna fit in there. I may have to see if this works. Oh, that's frustrating. It may just fit. I mean, you can see how that's clipped right there. So this will have to go on last. Whoa. I may change this anyway because there's a thing. I don't want to change it too much because I've already sent him the parts list. Oh, Clips Films. I've tweeted at so many developers, and I've never, I mean, for years, ever since Twitter and the ability to get a hold of people, it's not that they won't respond, it's just that the Battlefront 2 guys, or the Battlefront 2 guys, the guys at DICE were like pretty, they were a rarity in that they responded to people and made changes based off the community and stuff like that. So I mean, it was kind of a rarity, but yeah. Alright, so I know that's going to go in last, so let's do these next. Oh, don't copy it. What are you doing? Just move them. What? What the hell happened? Well, that's not what I wanted to do at all. Okay. Don't know why I keep doing that. When there is a problem, there's a solution. Well, I'm still not convinced this is going to work. I think it's too jammed in there, but like you won't really know until you put it together, like what the angle of this can be. Which is kind of a problem. Like you can't say, okay, put this in there at 320 degrees or whatever. So we'll see. Like I said, maybe I'll have to put it together myself and then see if this requires any changes, which I feel bad because I threw this design together and then I threw it at Brick Vibe. I'm like, here you go. And he's like, sweet, I'm going to start sourcing parts. I'm like, oh, okay. That seems fast, but okay. There's absolutely no quality control on this, on what I'm doing. Just going for it. Get it to market. Oh, what's going to happen if I get all the instructions done too soon? Erica! Do you have the parts to try it? Yes, I do, Brad's Life. I think I've got every part in here that I need to put it together. I just haven't yet. They're not going to be in these colors, but I will definitely give it a run through maybe this weekend. I don't have all these, but I mean, these are just, you can just do 2x2 plates in here. I was just doing this because it's fun to have these pieces. And I got a ton of them at a lug bulk. So, and it looks cool kind of from the side here. It looks like there's engine parts in here because it's rounded. Anyway, to be fair, every studio I've worked for, we've asked the devs to be fairly non-responsive. See, that's what I thought. Sometimes there are approved responses, but most of the time, even if they have public personas, they're asked to maintain a little contact for a lot of reasons. Right, we can talk to SJ about this too, and I think you and SJ worked in kind of like almost the same group of people, different going in and out, right? From knowing who's who in those groups. That's true, yeah. I think there's probably a dedicated... My guess is from what I've seen and talking to my friends who are developers is that they may be able to get it as input, tweets, forum posts, feedback, crash reports, game development notes, and then that all assembles into that goes through project management into sort of, this is what we're going to do, and the plan is to have some sort of roadmap. And there are people specifically designed, maybe they're developers, maybe they're not, who are then to communicate roadmaps to people and say, okay, well, this is what you can expect going forward. There's people who are going to be monitoring and moderating social networks and forums to say, that's something we can take under advisement. I can tell you this, I can't tell you this. But in general, I think you're right, and I know you're right because you did that job, that... As a developer, your job isn't to communicate with people. If it was your job, you would be in that job to communicate with people. You wouldn't be developing. Funny enough, one of the jobs that I had before the job that I have now was a quality assurance tester for a day trading company. And the customers were basically the traders. So we were developing software for the traders to use, and they would then trade either the company's money or somebody else's money, like they were hired to do, they're a trader for this person's account or something like that, or their own, like they could buy a chair. And so they ended up... because QA was the bottleneck, because we had we had 3 people doing QA. We had probably 20 or 30 traders, and we had like 8 to 10 developers. Maybe not that many developers, maybe like 6 or 7. But we had twice as many developers as we had QA people. So for every bit of little fix of code, and it was a small shop, it wasn't like we were Schwab or something, but every little piece of code that was put up, the traders wanted it like then. They're like, you got that bug fixed? I want it now. And we, you know, as the QA people were like, we have to run it through our scripts. We have to make sure, you know, we have to make sure it doesn't impact this other piece of software. We have to make sure it gets the data properly. It impacts the database right, blah, 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 blah. And they just could not handle it. And so eventually the company caved and went, you're right, we don't need this QA group. I'm like, all right. So they just started releasing product right to the traders. And I'm like, well, I hope this doesn't crash your whole system, because that's just a terrible way to do things. But it was that mindset of, I need this fixed fast. And now it goes on the developer's side to say, now you have to build, you know. So what the developers would end up doing is building out their own test environments and dumping their code into that just to see if it would work against itself. So it's still not one of my favorite moments of my life, was figuring that out. But all right, so this is all gonna be done together. Please say I already put a step in here. Always do that. Get a nice group together, and then, so these are gonna be in groups. And I'm going to do a fancy thing in the instructions that just says do this twice. Later. I'm going to do that later. Alright, so that front end's done. Yeah, I mean, shoot. Oh, I'm going to do this for Erica real quick. I don't have a bot that says this is the song you're listening to, but there's the whole, that's the artist. If you feel sparky. Alright, so now I'm going to, that's all done. Let's go back here. Put all 3 of these together, I think. Yeah. There's one thing I want to change on here, but again, I don't want to make too many changes because, you know, we'll see. Yeah, it is not fun. And then when stuff breaks, it's never a developer's fault. When you work in QA, it's never the developer's fault that something broke. It is the QA missed it. That's what it is. And, you know, there's always blame to go around, and I get that. But every time something broke for these guys, it was QA missed it. It was so frustrating. And we walked around like wounded pups because we were just like, you know, we weren't really a part. Nobody ever really felt like part of the team as it was. So it was always kind of bad. Cool. Yeah. I mean, when I heard, oh, this dude has put out his entire catalog for streamers, and I'm like, it's probably not going to be great. It's better than any music I could ever make, no matter what. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm probably going to get really tired of it. I haven't yet, and I've been using it for months. There is a group named Wintergarten. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Wintergarten, but they're the ones who made the giant, I say they, the band is Wintergarten, but it's pretty much the same way as saying like Trent Reznor is Nine Inch Nails. It's like one guy is the driving force. And there's other people that play with him, and the band's called Wintergarten, but this one guy, he did the marble machine, right? The thing that he walked up to it, and he like cranked it up, and it was all these marbles that hit like xylophones and a snare drum and the strings on a bass guitar. And so he would just sit there and crank on this thing, and all these marbles would go all over the place. So it was really great. It was an amazing thing. This happened this was 10 years ago or more. And ever since then, he's done all kinds of projects and made more music, and it's just been phenomenal. And he's rebuilding his marble machine so it doesn't, because there were marbles all over the place when this is done. He wants to make it like, it's like so precise that it doesn't lose any marbles. And one of the things he recently did was he ran a test over like 4 hours where he just pumped marbles through the system, and he went 30,000 marbles and only 6 fell off, and it was right at the very end because it wasn't even a thing that he was testing, it was something he wasn't even aware of. Quality assurance. So he was like, well, I consider that a success, but it failed in a way that I had no idea it was going to fail. So it was pretty amazing. Like, he does some really great stuff. Anyway, the music is also really good, and they just put out a thing where you can get a license to play their music anywhere you want. So if you've bought the music or if you downloaded the music already for your personal use, they're like, for free now, you can have this license that says you can play this music anywhere you want. Now the problem is you can't just slap that into a video that you're making for YouTube, because it also says for non-commercial use, like if you're streaming and you're not making any money off it or something like that. So like companies can't use his music, but like I could, even though if I'm getting ad revenue, it specifically says that. The thing is, if you get dinged with it, like if YouTube says, well, this got taken down in Finland or Japan or something like that, after the fact, you have to go and say, I have a license for this. So it's very, very awesome, but I think it's, it may be one of those just to kind of protect yourself kind of things for later. And they make pretty good music, it's kind of like this. It's techno-y, but they use it's like bespoke techno, where they use a lot of actual instruments and not just like tracks, click tracks or drum kits and software, not just that. I'm gonna go ahead and save this. So it's a lot of fun. I could rip some of the software guys' ears off. Some of those ATMs I work on. Good Lord. Yeah, I bet. Alright, so now I'm gonna go down here. I like the idea that I'm making these for sort of AFOLs, because, I'm not making these for kids. So if I dump a bunch of steps into one instruction, I'm like, I think you can handle it. I think you can handle 3 pieces at once. All right, so next is this old bucket of bolts over here. Do these 2 pieces. Y'all, a week from today, Christmas Eve, right? Right? Yeah. No. Yes, Christmas Eve. But also, I get to start on the Coliseum. So happy. So excited. I've been sitting on this for... It'll be a month. It'll be a GD month. And then I've got like 10 days to work on it, which is going to be super helpful because it's going to take that long. All right, how do I want to do this? I think just in pairs. That just seems to be the easiest. Because then you can see the little twists here. What? Most ATOLs should be able to figure it out. Oh yeah, most AFOLs should be able to. I would hope so at least. I would hope that most AFOLs would be able to figure it out just from the pictures. Like this dude, I had to figure it out from a picture, right? It is very close. I didn't realize this today, but this is very close to the actual one with the planet, right? That has the little Bespin guard. It's like there's... I didn't realize this. There's like 2 changes on the sides here, and something with the... There's no room for anybody to sit. They changed this up, so I think what the person did was took that, mucked with this a little bit, right? And then put a guy in it. And that's your... I'm like, I just saw that today. I'm like, oh my God. And I thought at the time, I was like, oh man, that's such a great design. I'm like, I think this is just... I think you just kind of jury-rigged it from... Which, to be fair, that's what you do. But I'm like, oh man, I wish I'd known that. I would just kind of looked up those instructions and it would have saved my life. Oh, what time is the stream going to be on Christmas Eve? Well, Brad. Hey, Beth. What time is the stream going to be on Christmas Eve? I mean, 8 o'clock, like normal? Are we going to be done with dinner? Probably same time. It's on a Thursday. We don't have anywhere to go. We're not going to go hang out with family. Oh, yeah. Chicken water, Beth. Hot chicken water. We've got an instant pot. Not an Instapot, an instant pot that we cook chicken in. It's super easy. You put a little bit of water in there. You spice your chicken how you want. You slap it in there. Just a chicken breast. You cook it for 10 minutes with a cup of water. It's done. Tastes great. Perfect consistency. Perfect cook all the way through. But that also leaves this pot with like a little bit of water with some like chicken fat in it. And it's too hot to pick up right away, so you gotta leave it for a little bit. But then we always forget, and in the morning I'm making breakfast and usually putting dishes away. And I'm like, oh God, this chicken water sat out all night. So now every time we cook with it, we've got a reminder on our Alexa that says, remind me at 9 o'clock for hot chicken water. What do you think about Twitch banning people with the word blank, blank, and blank? I saw that today, and I don't know about banning. I like them maybe not allowing the word, like in chat. That I can see, but I don't know about banning. I think that's a little egregious. I'm not a fan of any of those. I'm not a fan of the first word there, and the last word I don't know why that's such a big deal. But I have a friend who, my IRL friend, Erica knows her too. Melissa, I guess I can't say her real name. Goldie from Goldilocks and the Bear. I don't know her viewership, so I don't want to be insulting or anything, but I get the feeling, because she's a a very attractive woman, and she leans into it as anybody could or should, and I think she's got some followers who are just waiting for a wardrobe malfunction. And it gets a little dicey sometimes in the Discord and on the chats. And I know she handles it brilliantly. But at the same time, I'm like, God, you know, I don't know that I could handle that. I'm not that great at handling people. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I just walk into a room and go, blah, blah, blah. Oh, dude. You have to work till 6. You should be free. Sweet. I was actually going to see Kodiak. If you want to be involved, you can do this. If anybody's free, I know we all have holiday plans and we may be Zooming with family. If anyone's free and wants to, I will just be doing this on Restream Studio. So if you want to join and we can have multiple people and we can be chatting and stuff like that, let me know. Normally I can't do it when I'm doing stuff like this and designing because I think having a person to look at as well as whatever they're doing is better. But in terms of building, you're actually watching the building, so it doesn't matter if there's a face or not. So if anybody's free, and I'll put this out to Travis again, and Julian, and anybody else in the Lego community who maybe want to be on here, Jeff Micklewee, maybe if he wants to. Anybody who's been on here before you're welcome to join up, and I can losing my voice, can have up to 10 people, I think. So that'll be fun. All right, so there it is. That's your. I'm gonna save the steps. That's just the steps. All right, so. What day and what time? A week from now, 8 o'clock. Same Ben time, same Ben channel. Thursday at 8. And they don't even ban a person give vodka to a cat, throwing a cat on a stream, or even nips. Yeah, I mean, I get what they're trying to do. It's just such a slippery slope. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. So I was going to say, I ran into something today. I'm on a group. So now we're into the step editor, so I can cycle through this real quick and see what it looks like without having the whole model there. I can just go through a step at a time and make sure everything looks right. And if I'm going to do any grouping, I do it here. Make sure it looks good. This is going to be real quick. I'm on a group that, and I'm not going to say which group it is. That posted a picture today of Linda Carter as Wonder Woman. Hands up here like this, like she's just put on her boomerang tiara. Or, it's just holding her hair or something like that. But she's covered in tattoos, right? Big tattoo right here, tats all the way up to her greaves. And my first thought was, wow, that looks awesome. Super hot, super sexy. I would watch a Wonder Woman like that, right? Almost to a person in the comments was just rampant disgust. And a lot of way to ruin a beautiful woman. And I'm like, oh God. So I started reading, and I know better than to read the comments, but I actually was like, when I saw the first two, I'm like, nope, I'm gonna even leave this group. This is disgusting. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna slow down, and I'm gonna see what's actually being said, and I'm not gonna take it on a personal level. I'm gonna try to just read as is and see if there's anything constructive or any, there wasn't. There really wasn't. And there was a lot of shouts of, one guy was like, well, that's great. A bunch of men come out of the woodwork to tell us how to look at a woman's body. Way to go, fellas. You know, stuff like that. Like, and you can tell that those were the people who thought they were doing okay with it. But what that ends up doing is then everybody shouts, "Uh-oh, virtue signaling." And I'm like, okay, virtue signaling is such a 10-year-old thing. Can we go past that? Because I feel like virtue signaling is kind of the same thing as calling out. Uh-oh, I didn't want to move anything. I just hope I didn't ruin that. As just calling out garbage human beings. And I think I'm okay if someone were to decide that whatever I had said was virtue signaling. Now I get it. The idea is that it makes it look like you are trying to do good by showing how righteous you are, right? I'm morally superior. Here's how you should act. But at the same time, the internet can and generally is absolutely disgusting. That should be on a shirt. It really should. The internet is and can generally be absolutely disgusting. When people say things like they do on posts like that, and then accuse other people who are trying to say the opposite or defend that they are virtue signaling, I feel like almost leaning into it and saying, yeah, I am, because you are a terrible person. This kind of thinking went out with the cavemen. This kind of attitude is the reason blah, 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 you know, but then you're like, well, now I'm just debating internet trolls and I don't care. So that's kind of where I ended up with it. It was like after about 20 minutes of like looking this up and researching arguments on both sides. And I finally just went, what am I doing with my life? And I went, well, I'm going to go grab my Switch and play a level of Uncooked because I can't do this anymore. All right, so that's it. That's the step editor. So we verified that all this looks good. There's no blank steps or anything. I grouped what I needed to, and so now we're off to page design. The problem with page design, I'm going to have to go back and adjust this, is I don't have a good screenshot. I do have a good screenshot, but I don't have a good splash page. I don't want to put the splash page on there that has like all my socials and everything. So if you download it, you actually see who did it. But we are going to start by doing a global style and coloring this bleu. Light bleu. Okay, there we go. And I think I'm going to do the angle the other way so I can see more of it. I was reminded of the argument because the song that was playing reminded me of something very 80s, and I was thinking about how excited I am that Wonder Woman is coming out. And how I'm looking forward to watching it. And I told Beth, I'm like, can we watch it in like, not the dark, but can we turn the lights off a little bit and turn the sound up really loud? And because we usually watch it with friends of ours, but I kind of want to just like be in the moment and not like have our friends on a computer screen in front of us where we're talking about the movie as we're watching it. I kind of feel like this is a blockbuster movie that needs to be seen with like sound and visuals, you just like and have your brain melted. Uh-oh, can I get that piece in there? I'll play with it. I think I'm gonna get the pieces for this tomorrow and work it. Well, I thought this was going to be a group. Huh. I guess I should have grouped this in. Alright, so let's go back. So sometimes that'll happen where I get a thing. This should be, yeah. That should be a submodel. Oh, I know what I didn't do. Okay. Do you have HBO Max for it? Yes, we do. Yeah, we got HBO Max for... We had HBO for a while, and then we got rid of it. But then we got HBO Max. We're using... my kids' moms have HBO Max, so we're using their login, and we got it for West Wing, because West Wing did a special. Before the election, they re-aired Hartsfield's Landing episode. So I was like, oh, we got to sign up for this. So we use it every once in a while to watch other movies, and I can watch Doctor Who on it. So I caught up with Doctor Who, and I was very excited about that. This is actually still in instructions. In the step editor, I messed this up. So yeah, we have that, which means we can probably watch, I think, a bunch of other, view steps. That's what this is. So this is step. Do step 1, step before, step before, step before. There we go. Whew, it's getting warm in here. Turn to parent. So then I can just do ×2 and have that be in there. Don't want to go too fast because I've done this before where I've ripped through it and then it just breaks. Oh, this is what I ran into before. Where is that other step? Yeah, it says, okay, here's your... You're going to build this. You need one of those. Okay, I'm going to... No, I'm not going to activate buffer exchange. I'm going to change step view. And I'm going to make this custom 30. And then next step. And then next step. And then I'm going to do text ×2. Needs to be larger. Needs to be bigger than that. Oh, I wish I could get rid of this page. Because now that I have that... Yeah, I don't need the page, but I don't know how else to get rid of it. And now I have to move this all back to standard. What was it before? And this is why Lego sets cost as much as they do. And this is why custom Lego sets cost as much as they do. And custom designs cost as much as they do. Because this process, it's easy now because I've only got like 80 pieces. But imagine if you were doing something like the Razor Crest or a UCS X-Wing or the Apocalypseburg or just a giant, even one of these cars, how long that would take you to do. And everybody I talk to who does this are like, well, you should build for the instructions. Like, you should build knowing that it's going to need instructions. I'm like, that's not how I build. I build to make it look good and to make sure that there's fidelity of part and fidelity of color, not so that I can go back and make it easy on myself to make instructions, because I would break my brain if I was like, okay, this is step one, where do I need to start? It's like, this is easy enough to do. It's tedious, but it's easy enough to do. But this is because, I mean, it can take a long time to do this. The airplane that I did for the Air Force, actually, she was Marine. Her wife was Air Force. I think that's what it was. The instructions alone took me like 2 weeks. And it was 600 pieces. Make that arrow a little smaller. So yeah, so this is why when you see instructions from Brick Vault, or I don't know who else does instructions, but they are, you know, it's like, why would I pay $20 for instructions for a 500 piece set, or, you know, $40 for instructions or something like that, and the parts are going to cost me $500? It's like, well, there's a lot of work that goes into this. I'm building the Volkswagen camper van and no bags. How times have changed. Nice. Darth Striker mobile artillery. What? 947 pieces. Wow. Oh, Darth Designer. Yeah. You had said you were doing that. The F-35 had me start was 1,600. That's just crazy. Volkswagen camper with no bags. That's so. I like the. I should resurrect. I wonder if I can easily grab one of my old instructions. Let's see if I can grab something. So here's an instruction booklet. I'm gonna flip over to, because this is almost done. I'm just gonna kill time now. So this is monorail, but look how different the instructions are. There's no, this is the piece that needs to go in this step. It's just, here's what it looks like. Now here's what it looks like. Now here's what it looks like. Make a match. No numbered bags. Just here's your stuff. It's crazy. Like, I tried to rebuild this the other day, and it takes a long time. It takes a really long time. And this was 86. I think is when this came out. 85, 86, something like that. You know, some of the steps are easier than others. But, you know, you got to really pay attention that you don't lose, that you don't miss a thing, or else you're all thrown off. Yeah, that is an improvement. You could get away with this in this one because here's some more. Because there was really only gray and black. So if something was darker, it was black. But yeah, you can see. You can't really see from there. You can see this is gray, but these stands are black. these pylons, these struts. So you can see the difference there. Now they've got it where the black pieces are outlined with a highlight. And to give you an idea, this is something from the Nintendo. There's one piece, put that piece there. I mean, that's why these instruction booklets are now that thick. Not any more pieces, although in some cases there are more pieces. But just a lot more paying attention. So is anybody a Leg Bros fan on YouTube? It's a channel that has apparently a ton of subscribers. I had no idea. And they were just putting together, like, I subscribed to him like a couple weeks ago, and I just watched a live stream of him today, and they were talking with somebody who got a bulk order from, or not a bulk order, but like a not a bulk order, like a garage sale find, and it had a bunch of figures in it, but the lady also just like threw in this monorail track. Apparently didn't know that it was Lego or something. I'm not really sure. But she threw it in, and it was like, it was some stupidly high number. For those that don't know, yes, I also prefer the old way too. It actually kind of slows you down and kind of makes you appreciate it. This new way is kind of like piece, place, and you kind of lose the love of like the finding of the pieces and the assembling them and the looking, and I don't like it. Anyway, get off my lawn. Anyway, apparently had 70 monorail tracks, straight monorail track. 70 straight monorail track would cost you $1,400. And they were just talking about it like it was nothing. And I was like, oh my God. Like, so monorail track is like impossible to find. Because once you have some, you will not want to get rid of it. They never really made a whole lot of it. And the thing is, people want it to build big displays at conventions. Well, you can't, if you've got 5-6 foot tables, you don't have a whole lot of room to be squirrely with these curved tracks, unless you just do a bunch of figure eights. Then you've got to raise them up, and then you need raising tracks. People want straight track, and so the straight track became extraordinarily expensive. And they didn't make that much. Like, even in the sets that, the monorail sets that we got, and the accessory packs, they only had like 4 straight tracks. Everything else was curves and ramps and stuff. So finding straight track was a real hard thing to do. So much so that there was a company a while ago that did, it was a 3D printing company, and they 3D printed monorail track. Because they were going for like it was stupid, roughly $20 a track, right? And they were printing them, and you could get like one track for like $12 or $10 or something like that. It's such a ridiculous enterprise. Okay, well, there we go. That's done. Don't have it, but you want to mess around with it. Yep. So I'm going to save this. think I'll put a bill of parts at the end. Insert page after, and then do insert bill of materials. And I'll make this a little smaller so I can get all the parts in here, but not so small that it drifts. That's probably good. And then I can get rid of this page. Now usually I'll make it small enough that I can put a figure in here and say suggested figure is this. And at the beginning I will put a splash page that has a nice render of it, and then the name of it and my logo and socials and stuff like that. But that's pretty much it. So I'm going to save this and move on. Over the course of the weekend, I don't know if I'm going to do a stream next Tuesday, but maybe Sunday I'll do another microfighter design if I don't get more parts in. But then definitely Thursday we will start the Coliseum, and it'll be super exciting. So again, if you want to be part of that, if you want to be on the stream with me, just let me know via Instagram, on my Facebook page, find me on Twitter. Just let me know, and I'll make sure to send you a link when it comes time to do it. Please have at least a decent internet connection. If you can watch this without any problems, cool. I know we got Travis on here last time, and his phone was, I don't think he had a great connection, and it was just his phone, and it was causing all kinds of sound problems. Maybe Tuesday, let me know ahead of time. And, well, like, I know Julian and Kodiak were okay, but that way we can test it a little bit ahead of time and make sure there's no problems. Anyway, so you guys have a great rest of your weekend. I'll see you Sunday, and I think that'll just about do it. And if you have any other suggestions for fighters, I know, or for microfighters, I know we had the YX 2000 last time, and I looked that up. That was pretty cool, so I added that to my list. But anything else you can think of, just let me know, and I'll add it, and we'll design it. So thanks for hanging out, everybody. Kodiak, Brad, I know Thanatos was on here earlier. Thanks to Erica for being here on Facebook. And yeah, so you guys have a good night, and we'll talk to you later. Peace.